Hola, I am spilling the tea of my entire workout fitness, which even intermixes with my business journey because movement has always been my job, my occupation, and what I've worked towards sharing and serving the world with. And it started all the way back in high school, really, in not the healthiest way. I mean, I've always been somebody that was involved in sports and moved my body. Thank God for my parents who put me in every sport really growing up. I pretty much did soccer and volleyball mainly, but it wasn't until high school, freshman year, and I put on some pounds. You know, you hit puberty and sometimes that happens. And I went from not ever really thinking about my body to being like, wow, I have like a little bit more meat on my bones. And I wasn't anywhere near chubby, but people like started commenting on my body. And you know, those comments like really stick with you. And me being like type A determined person was like, oh no, we're gonna do something about this. So I started like hardcore dieting. I didn't even know it. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I just started eating like very minimally and working out excessively, like almost in secret. Like I was involved in sports and stuff, but I would like work out extra in my room, or I would do like one of my mom's workout videos in the basement, but I would do it like twice. Be like, 30 minutes wasn't enough, I'm gonna do this video twice. I just became obsessed with exercise, and I thought I was doing the right things to like be a fit person. But looking back on photos, I got like super skinny. And then people started commenting about that. That was like sophomore year of high school. And people were like worried that I was getting sickly the other way. So I was like, oh, I can't do anything right. And I finally noticed that, and then I just started like eating like crazy. I was like, no, like I'm not somebody who gets themselves sick. So I just started like almost binge eating the other way. So obviously a lot of these are like societal pressures and like the pressure I put on myself aesthetically to look a certain way and like fit in high school. That's just like how tough the world is out there. And I know there's many, I'm not the only person who has a story like this. But that's honestly how it started, and that grew to like an obsession with working out. And it was junior year of high school that I actually quit both soccer and volleyball at this point, and I started working the front desk at a gym back in my hometown. And I looked at the instructors and I was like, oh, that's awesome, I want to be like them. So not too long after, I got my first workout certification. I started teaching spinning, and I did that for a company back in my hometown and just kind of went from there. I also taught spinning freshman year of college when I went to Michigan. So that was kind of like my kickstart into teaching fitness. I wish I had photos from this, but I can't find any. This was kind of back before Instagram went crazy and people were posting everything. I just don't have photos of everything, but photos that I do have, I'm gonna place on either side of me kind of throughout this whole journey. And I do want to apologize for my voice. I'm overcoming COVID. I feel great. I'm like almost back to 100%, and I have some time on my hands, so that's why I am making this video for you. So that is how I got started. And then I went to college at the University of Michigan, and still obsessed about fitness and not really knowing how to work out the right way. I just started like going to the gym and doing the most. I would do like every exercise that I knew without resting, like back to back, pushing myself. And on top of that, I would do cardio for like a whole hour. So I would be in the gym for a long time. I didn't teach spinning for too long because I just like stopped enjoying it. I kind of went through a phase of like mild depression in freshman year, like figuring out who I was. So I stopped doing that, but I like kept hardcore in the gym. I actually was on the road to becoming this is what I became, a physical therapist. So I was surrounded by other like-minded people who liked to move, and there were lots of opportunities with fitness and with movement throughout my college career. So that led me to starting to work at Applied Fitness Solutions, AFS, back in Ann Arbor. And that was probably like the best thing that ever happened to me. I forgot to grab a water, which I totally need with my voice. I'll be right back. Okay, we're focused back in. I'm back. AFS was great. It was a gym that was by somebody who also went to Michigan, and he studied the same degree that I did, kinesiology, also known as movement science. And so he had like a scientific background for the types of things that he offered at his gym. So I was just kind of thrown into his educational program. And that's where I learned like the meat of what makes a good exercise program. I taught a lot of group fitness classes while I worked there, and then once I finished my internship, I started working there as a fitness instructor, and I would also help around in the weight room. It was like the epitome of like breaking my shell into becoming a confident person. I was so not confident. I so didn't believe in myself. I didn't know how to carry a room, but I pretty much was sink or swim, and surrounded by a bunch of gym rats and meatheads. You quickly just adapt to that lifestyle. During this time, I was drinking like Monsters every day. I was like counting my macros. I was like the gym rat, but I still had this like veiled view of like wanting to be smaller, because that's like why I got into fitness. So I feel like I've always held myself back by like not wanting to gain weight, which has been something that was kind of in my subconscious. And I'm honestly just realizing some of these things, like looking back at photos and my progress. I'm like, man, what really did hold me back? And I think it was just those deep-rooted beliefs of like having to be smaller. Nevertheless, that internship really taught me how to create a good program, and was like the foundation of me becoming like a really good trainer and even physical therapist to this day. I graduated from Michigan in 3.5 years. That last semester, I just taught classes at the gym full time. I was like opening the gym at 6 a.m. and closing it down at 7 p.m. I was literally there all day, and I became obsessed, so much so that I almost didn't want to go to PT school to become a doctor of physical therapy. I was like, I love fitness, I want to do this forever, but Mom and Dad were like, you need to go get a graduate degree, because you can't be just a trainer. But now we know that being a trainer is just like a very valuable career in itself. So what can I say? That was my path. Right away, I got into PT school where I live now in Miami. And when I just came for that interview, I just knew that I was meant to be here. You know, when there's like an energy around a place and you just absolutely are drawn to it, you know that that's where you belong. That was Miami for me. So I graduated, I walked with everybody in graduation in May, even though I was done in December. And PT school started May like 25th. So like 3 weeks later, I was already moved out to Miami, starting my summer internship at the Anatomy Cadaver Lab. Woohoo! And that's where I met my now husband. He graduated PT school, and then that summer, before he started his career, he worked as a graduate assistant teacher for Anatomy Cadaver Lab. So the joke is, everyone's sick of me hearing this that knows me really well, but we met over a dead body, because we really did, while we were dissecting bodies. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we were there together, and then Tuesday, Thursday, we had like only 2 classes, so the rest of the time we had to just study and like immerse ourselves into PT school. but I would spend a lot of my time at the gym, and so was Braulio. So if we weren't over a dead body, we were working out together. He always tells me he remembers that first day he saw me at the gym, I was wearing this tiny blue spandex, and that's when we both just knew that we were meant to be together. Anyways, that's not exactly part of my fitness story, although it is, because Braulio has always motivated me to just be a better lifter and supported me in my business goals with kind of where fitness has taken me now. So, because he was always there, I always wanted to be at the gym. I was literally like, I wonder what times Braulio's gonna be at the gym, and I would try to be there. It's true. Once I finished Anatomy Cadaver Lab, that's the first summer, I wanted to continue personal training. So I got hired at the University of Miami Wellness Center and trained people there. And I did that throughout all of PT school. So I've really always been a trainer, starting when I was 17 and I got that job back at the fitness center. It's always been my career path. That's the only thing I've ever known. And that's pretty much the story for those 3 years. From 2016 to 2019, I was studying to become a physical therapist. School was intensive, and the little time that I had extra, I was training clients. So I was deep in it and working out myself. And I was looking back at photos, I'll put them all here, of my progression. And I kind of did start off like really teeny meeny. And I learned to put on some muscle. And I think the more and more Braulio and I started to become a thing, I started to kind of like eat more like him. And down here in Miami, you eat a lot of meat and rice and beans. So just as a result of that, I started eating more and I started to put on a little bit more muscle. But in the end of the day, for how much I was training, I think I still was held back by doing too much exercise and not eating enough. And I realize that now that I'm kind of restarting my like gains journey. So that was 2019. I graduated and then I started my job as a physical therapist in September 2019. I realized quickly when becoming a physical therapist that I missed training people. So I started doing that again, and I started my own side hustle, which I thought was gonna be a side hustle, in October of 2019. I thought, hey, I've been a trainer forever. I'm just going to create an LLC, throw up a website online, and surely my business is going to boom. I found out quickly online business is much harder than that. It didn't happen like that at all, but I did end up running into somebody that I knew from one of my PT school internships, and he was like, hey, I have like an overflow of clients. You can start working with some of the clients that I give you, and he would get a cut of whatever that was. And I thought that was great, and I thought it was so crazy that the amount I got paid per hour, even with him getting a cut, versus me doing the career that I've always worked for, that I got a doctorate in and spent tons of money to get this degree, I was literally making 3 times more. And I was just like, what in the world is going on? Something is wrong with this picture. So I was like, I need to do more training. I like it more. I love being in the gym. Like, that is just my thing. Mm-hmm. I love the environment. I love the push of working on your body and helping people do that. So I was like, I'm gonna start training people on the side in person too. Sorry, there's gonna be a lot of this happening while my voice is still recovering. Bear with me. Yeah, so there's kind of a long story of the business journey too, but I'll give you the cliff notes. I had enough clients where in December, so this is only working for them for what, 3 or 4 months, that I already started to work part-time. I felt like in my job as a physical therapist, I was kind of like a machine, and I didn't really like the direction that my career was going, because I was mostly doing evaluations and I wasn't treating full-time like I wanted to be, and just seeing like the benefit of the hourly wage of a trainer. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do both. So I kept doing my job Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the physical therapy clinic. Here's my picture of the clinic and day 1 starting my career. And then Tuesday, Thursday, I would be out training my own clients in person. All the while, I had started a online business mastermind that started, I did like the academy for 3 months starting in November, and then I transferred over to the 6 months mastermind after that. And that was just a complete and total like self-development and faith journey and figuring out who the F I was. Because my whole entire life, my goal was to finish college, graduate PT school, become a therapist at a clinic, and live happily ever after. Get married, have babies, be a mother, and that would be it. And then when I started my job and I realized, hey, this is not what I want, I had to learn who I actually was. So that was kind of like a brain, I want to use the F word, but I'm not going to. A mind F. So during that time, I had a lot of emotions going on. It was very much a roller coaster of like, okay, who am I and what am I doing with my life? Of course, that's the time the pandemic happened. So the PT clinic started to get less and less busy. There was a lot of nervousness in the air. And finally in May, I came to a decision where things were kind of like picking back up again. I was like, man, I don't want to be there anymore. So I made a decision to quit my job. It was very much a faith decision. I think if I wouldn't have had faith in my life, like there's no way I would have done it because logically it didn't make sense. I was not there financially yet. I didn't really have a plan, like a business plan at all. I just felt in prayer that I was being led a different direction. So without much thought, I called my boss and said, hey, I'm giving my 2 weeks. Which was really hard because I really loved my coworkers. For somebody who has always been type A and had a plan, it was the stupidest thing to do. But obviously I don't regret it at all because now I've opened myself up to limitless opportunity. From there, I also got very introspective and dove into self-development while I was figuring out who I was. And that's what led me to getting back into yoga. I've had a yoga previous journey when I had really bad IBS. That's a whole nother thing I'm not going to talk about now. But I got back into yoga because of the pandemic, and I was treating a lot of clients for back pain, and I was like, a lot of these people need yoga. So that got me back into it, and I actually got my yoga cert around the same time online because you couldn't do them in person in 2020. So I started doing that, and once I did that and finished the yoga cert, my in-person business just started booming. I think people were also starting to seek out private trainers, people who knew yoga, people who wanted private physical therapists and trainers, and I kind of was the jack of all trades. So I started making really good money on my own, and I was like, heck yes, I'm gonna go with this. But then I burned myself out because I was driving all over Miami and seeing clients for all different things. So it ended up being just much too much. So another divine thing is I was driving around sometime in November 2020, and I saw a studio very near my house, and it had a yoga symbol, and I went and took a yoga class, and just talking to the instructor, she was saying how they're looking for more trainers and even physical therapists because they're making the studio a little bit more wellness based. And I was like, hey, I'm that girl. I had a meeting with the owner right away. She was like, yes, you're in. So there's a small little gym and a yoga studio, and I pretty much was able to transfer all of my clients to that studio, which is now what I'm doing. I work at that studio full time, and the rest of the time I'm working on becoming a content creator, sharing more on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I've had a hard time with, but we're getting back to it, and that's where I'm looking to go now. So yeah, let's regroup here. So I was seeing clients there. That's where I was working out, but it was a mix of me doing yoga and training, and I became way more focused on teaching yoga. It was new and exciting, and I had new goals to become more flexible, where I got the splits, do handstand, which I'm still working on, and just become really good at that. So I started teaching class, 2021 was my summer of teaching yoga. I taught 3 to 5 classes a week. Then, like, throughout this thing, Braulio proposed to me, and we had our wedding in May. And so kind of like 2022 was about like being able to fit in my dress and like maintenance. Your girl just had a little cough drop break, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. We're back. My voice is better. We were talking about 2022 was really when I was on maintenance mode. I was still lifting in the gym and I was still doing yoga and I was like balancing the two, but I was planning my wedding. And my goal was kind of to maintain that, to maintain my business. I started a cycle strategy program, like lifting weights and doing yoga with all 4 phases of your menstrual cycle. And I was just doing the most and a little bit stressed out for the wedding, so I didn't really make gains at this point and was staying afloat. Everything was good. But I just got married. I just went on my honeymoon last May. Right now we're at the end of June. We're halfway through the year and I'm looking at kind of where I want to go both business-wise and fitness-wise. And I've decided I want to get strong. Everything in perspective. I know that my calories have got to go up. My lifting has got to be more intentional. I'm using a lot of the 5-3-1 method, which I talked about in one of my like previous videos of how I calculate my numbers for like squat, deadlift, hip thrust, bench, etc. and prioritizing the big movements and pushing myself, but not overdoing it and not under eating. I know there's a lot more to it and everybody's goals are different, but I want to put on some muscle. I'm going to show my journey here throughout these YouTube videos and also keep my mobility. So I've worked really hard to get more mobile, and I think yoga has really helped my lifting form, and it's really helped me be more in tune with my body so that when I'm doing certain movements, I'm so present and I'm feeling the mind-body connection, which you just cannot discount. So it's really helped me on that level. I think yoga has made me a much better lifter, so I plan to incorporate the two. Right now my split is 4 days in the gym and 2 days lifting, but my goal is to try to stretch every day after my workouts, which I haven't quite yet accomplished, but I'm saying it to you, so it's gonna happen now. I'm gonna stretch a lot more. Business-wise, still have the same business here in the studio that I was telling you guys about, training clients in person. I have a few online clients, but honestly the direction I really want to go is a little bit more of a broader vision of sharing content. YouTube content, free workout content on Instagram with free guides. I want to get more information out there, not only on the one-to-one level, but to the world. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, and I hope that makes you excited too, because this is going to be a super fun journey. I'm calling this YouTube summer. I know there's hot girl summer. I know there's feral girl summer. I know there's wild girl summer, which is the same thing. Healing girl summer. So whatever your summer is about, make it yours. Have that vision. My way of working out in my fitness journey may be very different from yours. You may relate to a lot of things, but let's get to know each other. Comment some things below. Do you relate to anything I said? Does something resonate with you? Are you on a fitness journey yourself? Let's chat, my friend. Thanks for being here. And if you haven't already, you've watched this whole video, which is kind of long, so subscribe. Be part of the family. It helps my channel and helps us to become more of a community. So hope I see you there. Till next time, peace out.